Hi, my name is Steve Griffin. I'm the English Language Arts Coordinator for the Worthington Schools. And I'd like to take just a few minutes to talk to you about our enriched English Language Arts classes at our middle school levels. Both of our regular ELA and our enriched ELA classes are really great classes, but it's important to identify some distinguishing areas of our enriched English Language Arts classes. If you had a bumper sticker for our enriched ELA classes, it would say depth, breadth, pace, and complexity. Our teachers really develop units where we are going deeply into a topic, especially in the research area. The breadth of topics include author studies, genre studies. The pacing in our enriched ELA is appropriate for the students that are in front of our teachers in this class, as well as the complexity. We follow the grade 6 through 8 standards, but we also bring in the 9th and 10th grade standards when appropriate. And we place an important focus on the humanities as well. So depth, breadth, pace, and complexity is on the mind of every enriched ELA teacher as they are developing units for their classes. So if you think back to what your ELA classes were like when you were in middle school, and you think about the activities you like, maybe some you didn't like, the activities that are probably coming to mind are journal writing, essays, grammar, diagramming sentences, giving a speech, reading a book that spoke to you, maybe reading a book that was required that maybe you didn't like. I think if you spoke to our students now, they would mention some of the same things, some similar activities. Our students in the enriched ELA classes enjoy a multitude of writings that are in the class. They enjoy the creativity of those writings. They enjoy doing debates, speeches, and using grammar and vocabulary development to improve their writing. We certainly focus on advancing student reading capacity and skills, but we also want to make sure that our students fall in love with reading and writing in our ELA classes by having choice in the books that they read and encourage them to dive into literature that really speaks to them and represents the diversity that we find in the world today. In other words, we want our students to find books that are really, really good matches for them. A few years ago, we polled our students in our enriched ELA classes and asked them what they thought about writing in these classes. You can see some of their comments here. So you can see that when they say they can relive their life twice, they are talking about some of their journal writing or maybe some of their autobiographical projects. They are finding their voice in their writing. They are finding me as a writer, as they said. They say it's not cheap, meaning that this class is a challenge and it's not easy. Maybe in the past, they felt some classes were easy for them, but in this class, our students definitely feel challenged. When we asked students, they said that they didn't always want to be in gifted classes all day, but they do like working with their intellectual peers. So I wanted to just share some really interesting thoughts from our students so you can get a sense of what makes our enriched ELA classes special. Here are some of our ELA teachers. The man in the top in the red shirt is Justin Beatty. Justin teaches at McCord Middle School, where he was also a McCord student prior to becoming a teacher, which we think is really neat. Robin Troth in the bottom right is one of our senior enriched ELA teachers at Kilbourne Middle School. All of our enriched ELA teachers are English teachers. They have English teaching licenses. But they're also gifted intervention specialists. That's why in middle school, enriched ELA is a gifted service. So our teachers take classes not only in ELA, but when they study for a GIS license, a gifted intervention specialist license, that means they also took classes in differentiation, how to challenge students. They took classes in the social emotional piece and helping gifted students. So they know how, for example, a student who may be a perfectionist, they know how to meet their needs emotionally. Students who may be great readers, but in their writing, they need help organizing their thoughts because they're so creative and they need help getting their thoughts down on paper. It's important that our parents know that we have teachers that are ELA licensed teachers, but also have that GIS license. What also distinguishes our enriched ELA course is the collaborative learning environment. Teachers are constantly thinking about how they incorporate group work and presentations into the course. If students are more individual workers, they work with the students on collaborative skills, teaching them how to bounce ideas off a group of students and their peers. Academic conversations take place regularly. We focus on how to have respectful debates, how to go into deep root causes of an argument. Teachers really think about how students will work with a variety of groups throughout the year and truly develop communication and collaboration skills with their peers. And finally, once again, it's important to note that we do follow our Ohio learning standards in reading, writing, language arts, and speaking. But this class, enriched ELA class, is a gifted service for those students whose cognitive scores and their achievement scores warrant us gearing a class especially for them. If you have any questions, please let me know. And I know Suzanne Palmer will also talk more about enriched ELA.